that feeling when you're speaking in a meeting and you can sense that nobody's really listening? That frustration of having good ideas but people just gloss over your comments? Or when you try to lead a project but your team doesn't take you seriously? It's exhausting, feeling like you have to shout to be heard, or worse yet, watching someone else repeat your exact idea 5 minutes later and everyone nods like it's brilliant. The problem isn't that you're less smart or capable than others. The problem is that there are certain behavioral and communication patterns that unconsciously tell people whether they should respect you or not. And the good news is that these patterns can be learned. Today, I'm not going to give you the typical advice of be more confident or be more assertive. That's like telling someone who's hungry to just eat more. Instead, I'm going to show you a specific system based on psychological research that the most influential people in the world use. Technique 1. The power of controlled tempo. Stanford University studies showed that people who speak 15 to 20% slower than normal are perceived as more competent and trustworthy. What not to do. Speaking fast because you're afraid of being interrupted. Filling silences with like. Speeding up when you feel nervous. What to do. Deliberately reduce your speaking speed. Use strategic pauses of 2 to 3 seconds. Maintain the same rhythm even under pressure. Specific example 1. Instead of saying quickly, I think we should consider this option because it might work better. Say with pauses, I think we should consider this option because it might work better. Specific example 2. When someone asks you something in a meeting, take 2 seconds before responding. Say, good question. My take on this is... Specific example 3. If someone interrupts you, maintain your rhythm and continue. As I was saying, the main point is... Technique 2. The strategic eye contact formula. Research by Dr. Michael Argyle demonstrated that eye contact during 60 to 70% of the conversation generates more trust, but more than 80% can seem aggressive. The formula: initiate. Establish eye contact before you speak. Maintain for 3 to 5 seconds while making your main point. Break. Look to the side, never down, while continuing to speak. Return to emphasize important points. Real dialogue example 1. Situation. Your boss questions your proposal. Bad. Looking down. Well, I thought it might work, but maybe not. Good. Direct eye contact. I've analyzed 3 alternatives. Pause, look to the side. This proposal reduces costs by 30%. Return eye contact. Would you like to review the numbers? Real dialogue example 2. Situation. Colleague challenges your decision. Bad. Avoiding eye contact. I'm not sure. Maybe we should ask others. Good. Calm eye contact. I understand your concern. The data I reviewed shows a clear pattern. I can show you exactly what I found. Technique 3. The downward declaration technique, my personal favorite. This is my favorite technique because it works immediately. Studies show that statements that end with downward intonation are perceived as more authoritative than those that go up at the end. Why it works? When your voice goes up at the end, you unconsciously sound like you're asking for approval. When it goes down, you sound confident in what you're saying. Practical examples. In presentations. Bad. So I think we should implement this strategy? Good. I recommend we implement this strategy. In giving instructions. Bad. Could you have this ready by tomorrow? Good. I need this ready by tomorrow. In negotiations. Bad. My budget for this project is $50,000? Good. My budget for this project is $50,000. Mindset shift. Here's what you really need to understand. Authority isn't about being the loudest person in the room. It's about being the calmest person in the room. Think of it like an iceberg. The part you see above water, the words, the gestures, that's only 10%. The 90% you don't see is the inner calm, the preparation, and the genuine confidence in your value. The most influential people don't need to convince you they're important. Their presence says it all. It's like the difference between thunder and an earthquake. Thunder makes a lot of noise, but passes quickly. An earthquake is silent, but moves mountains. Action plan. Here's exactly what to do. Step 1. Focus only on technique 1, controlled tempo. Don't try to change everything at once. First, practice speaking 20% slower in casual conversations with friends or family. Then, once you feel comfortable, add 2-second pauses before answering questions. Finally, combine both in your next important meeting or presentation. Step 2. Once you've mastered controlled tempo, add the eye contact technique. Step 3. When the first two feel natural, integrate the downward declaration. Remember, it's better to master one technique than to try all of them and master none. Look, projecting natural authority isn't about changing who you are. It's about effectively communicating the value you already have inside. These 3 techniques, controlled tempo, strategic eye contact, and downward declarations, are tools used by everyone from CEOs to diplomats. They're not tricks. They're psychological principles backed by research. If this video helped you, let me know in the comments which technique you're going to try first. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, because the next video is going to be about how to handle difficult people without losing your integrity. A fascinating topic that I think you're going to love. See you in the next video.